All right, here we are at Muurhodgesgate, and welcome back to Slay the Sector, the dirt of BWR. I'm Coach Brian McCulloch with Big Wheel Coaching, a former winner of the Belgian Waffle Ride and just a fanatic of this great race. Sector number 4, Muurhodgesgate, and it is brutal. It's one of the longest at 7 kilometers total, and Muurhodgesgate has everything. And by everything, I mean it has sand, it has rocks, it has twists, turns, ups, downs, a bridge, water crossing, cacti, tons of sun. It's gonna be hot and windy out here. So let's get into it. Here we go into Muurhodgesgate, and you're gonna notice the difference in the landscape here from Cockaboulet. Whereas Cockaboulet, we had a lot of shade. All of a sudden, it's just nothing but exposure. So let's take advantage of these wide open trails, grab some water. This is a great place. You're still working here, but you're gonna see in just a moment, we're gonna go over a little rise, maybe use that sign as a landmark. After you get through that sign, it's a great place to grab, don't just chug a little bit of water, get a lot of water. You're gonna need a lot of water to get through the Belgian Waffle Ride. Whether you're doing wafer or waffle, got a lot of work ahead. We're just getting into the heavy lifting of the day with Muurhodgesgate. So we're gonna start picking up some speed, ripping down the Muurhodgesgate. It's smoother than it's been in years past, which is a welcome, it's welcome news, but the unfortunate reality is the faster we go, the more reliant we are on really, really durable equipment. So if you haven't checked your equipment, or you think you're gonna get away with some less than ideal equipment, I beg you, as you watch this video, to figure out, beg, borrow, and steal your way onto some industry-leading equipment, whether it be NV or IRC or whatever you're working with. Please, 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 you need really good equipment. There's lots of great stuff out there, but you're gonna need it. Gonna rip down our second little descent here into a right. We're gonna use the whole trail. Pay attention to that big green bush. That's a big landmark there for you. Thankfully, we're not going up that hill there on the left. But now we're gonna get into, this is a really challenging climb. It's not steep, but as you come left around this turn, you're gonna see where it just continues to get challenging. You just stay on the pedals. You're on the pedals, on the pedals. It gets worse. We still got another bend to go. It's kind of like a false summit around here all day. We're riding, riding, riding. Now you're starting to get into the heavy lifting of this little rise here. Some will call it a climb, but we're still gonna have to peek left. See, we're having to grind on the pedals a little bit to get up this. Peek left. Oh man, there's even more climbing. Okay, here we go. Stay in it, stay in it. It's gonna get steeper here. So make sure you pace yourself at the bottom. This particular climb, it's really challenging. And now we're starting to get into where it's heavier and heavier rock. Just means it's taking more momentum away from you, just sapping the power from your legs already so early in this treacherous bike race. Really, really hard bike race, the Belgian Waffle Ride. Not much time to take your hands off the bars here. As much as you might like to stop and grab some water or something like that, you just have to keep grinding. We're still on this same climb. It just feels like it never ends. But it keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. We're gonna peek around. There's your landmark. Look at the bench on the right. That's your landmark. Couple more pedal strokes. Bada bing, bada boom. Over the top. Spin the legs out a little bit. Quick little bend left into a nice right. This is a little technical right. A little soft there. Okay. Now you're gonna get a little rocky downhill. This gets going real fast. Not many lines through here. It looks like the trail is fast and real wide, but it's actually really, really rocky and really, really treacherous. So again, I think the name of the game with Muurhodgesgate is just how fast this sector is, and then all of a sudden you just boom right into a treacherous rock garden, and there's no time. You can't see it. It just is right there. So you've got to have super robust equipment. You really have to have confidence in your tire pressure, really have confidence in your riding skills, being able to finesse with the brakes, finesse with the power on the pedals, finesse with the shifters. All really, really important stuff to get through this section because it is so high speed. The camera doesn't do it justice. We're definitely going fast. No one wants to mess with any of that cacti. You don't want to take a shoulder at cacti. That's no good. Stuff's like a tractor beam. It's going to pull you into it. A couple of whoop-de-doos here. Little left-right bend. Picking up speed here. Rather trying to maintain speed. More cacti. Just staring me in the eye. Says, come get me, Brian. Coming into a couple little rock garden sections that I really want you to be mindful of here. They look maybe not so treacherous on the video, but I can assure you, every time we pre-rode these this year, they just ripped tires, even 38s. They ripped 32s, 38s. So if you're thinking you're going to get through this ride on 28s, I have some news for you that that's probably not a great decision unless you're going to go pokey slow. But you can see all these rock sections here, and you're going so fast. If you're trying to stay with a group, it's so difficult. So we're going to get in the meat potatoes of these rock segments here, just around the bend. Oh, trail user, hey, how you doing? Hope you have a good ride. Enjoy your Belgian waffle ride, buddy. We got some work to do. Here's that crazy section here. Look at all those rocks. Oh, those are just going to eat tires alive. There's going to be people that just boom. You're going to hear rim strike after rim strike after rim strike through this section. Relaxed arms, relaxed shoulders, relaxed hands. Trying to use the whole trail, soft on the bike, and then we're going to come into a nice, super tight right turn. I think one of the most important components of this whole section is getting through there clean. Okay, so one of the most notorious sections in the Muurhodgesgate is this tight right into an off-camber, fast, tricky downhill, and then ultimately the water crossing. You've probably seen the pictures of the face plant into the water crossing. Well, a successful water crossing starts by setting up here at the top. So one thing you're going to notice is it's a little less rocky than normal. This is Slay the Sector after all, so I'm trying to give you some early intel. It's going to be faster coming into this turn. You're going to come into this hairpin apex hard and go down this hill. But if you're going too fast, you're going to fall away, and there's just nothing but bushes and tire ripping bad stuff over there. When you're watching our Slay the Sector video, I want you to pay special attention to the inside line with this big rock over here, and everybody's going chirp, 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 really slow, pokey slow around the inside. Or the other option, which is going to be a faster, smoother, more predictable line, is likely going to be the outside with a late apex, heavy on the rear brake, light on the front, and then straight down the chute, so to speak here. One thing you might notice, the reason I'm holding my bike, my BMC road machine, is because you'll notice I'm in the drops a lot. You might try that. A real key to help you get through these sectors is being in the drops and having your finger on the brakes, so your controls are always accessible. It's an old moto trick. It works really well for riding gravel. I know a lot of us are really comfortable up high, but I encourage you in your last training rides before you get to BWR, start practicing getting in the drops. That's going to help you slay the sector. Let's get on down to that water crossing. Here it is, the water crossing you've all been waiting to see. It might be a babbling brook and not a raging river, but new for 2021, apparently, the footbridge, the well-worn path. I'm here to tell you it hasn't been here in the past. It's here now. Who's to say it's going to be here on race day? It might be roped off. I have been a part of many a pre-race dinner. There was talk that this would not be there. So I'm going to show you guys 3 lines across. That way we have options. I want to help you slay the sector, and I don't want you to end up in the drink for an early shower. Save that for the end of the day. Let's get into it. I'm standing on it. It's the A line, the line of choice, the footbridge. Very clearly, this is the obvious line we want to choose coming down this. There's a high probability this is going to get nixed, as in unavailable for us. So this is slaying the sector. If there is a mandatory water crossing, I'm here to give you real-time intel. It looks pretty deep, and there are some fuzzy rocks, as in moss-covered rocks below that could end your day early. We're going to show you the 3 different lines. Obviously the footbridge, we're going to assume that it's unavailable. If it is, bonus. If it's not, we're going to show the middle line that'll get you through. It's kind of deep, but it's rideable. And then there's a far line, which over the years past was always that fast line to go to the right of the palm tree. All right, so we've ripped through that water crossing. Probably have some soggy shoes. It's never a good thing, but it's just part of the deal. Look at this little left, woohoo! Little shorten, we're gonna take a couple of feet of climbing off the Belgian Waffle Ride, don't tell the race director. Here we go. Muurhodgesgate, like we talked about, was very open and exposed. So keep that in mind as we're rolling through here. It's always another good time after you get through some of those features, that water crossing, grab a little water, just building that momentum, trying to get into a nice pedal cadence, find a good gear, get on top of it. But you can't lose focus. No mental breaks here. I really want you to listen to what I'm saying. It seems like, oh, when you're watching this, you know what? No problem. This is gonna be easy. Everything's gonna be fine. But we're always coming up on trail users here. We're going from the left side of the trail. Watch this. Here's a great example. This person doesn't know left or right. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know we're coming. Even though I announced that we're coming through on the left, she moved to the right. It's very common, very common. So please be mindful. Head up, eyes forward. You never know what's going on in the trail. We always want to be courteous to other people on the trail, but also, hey, we're racing bikes. We got work to do. No reason to give up free speed. So, you know, try to be courteous and give everyone some extra notice on that. Up and out of a little low spot, a little trough there, picking up speed again. This is one of my favorite parts of this section right here. You really can just go fast. Get to whip the bike around a little bit. It's a little bit sandy in places here, just some light sand, but it sure does sap the momentum. So it's really good to stay close to the edges. That's usually where the the nice hard packed dirt is. You notice every now and again I flick my left elbow or my right elbow, trying to tell the rider behind me like, hey, there's something coming up on the left or the right. I'm not trying to tell them to pull through. You know, I always want to, I think when I'm with a little pod of people and I'm riding with them, I want to help them get through the section and the sector as well, because when I come to the road, I want to have some help. I don't want to just have to hit that headwind by myself. So keep that in mind. If there's someone behind you, especially if it's a teammate, a buddy, a friend, or just a fellow, you know, graveleur like yourself, give them a little elbow, let them know something's coming, and that'll help them avoid a nice puncture. We don't want that. So, and hopefully they'll repay the favor for you. Coming into a quick little transition here. We're on like a broken asphalt section, picking up some speed, but we're actually having a lot of wind here. You'll have a bunch of wind both directions, and we're going to turn off this onto a bike path. All right, the final section of our sector, Muurhodgesgate, is a short and sweet sector, and you might be asking yourself, what's the big deal? Well, it's the transition from dirt back to pavement, and it's always really tricky because this last sector is actually very, very fast. Okay, you're going to be running down this section full gas. There's going to be a slight bend right into an off-camber, and you're going to be stunned by the 15 freeway, your first sight of civilization in like 10 miles. Well, guess what? Don't lose your front end here, because that makes the day not so good. As soon as you transition across here, all I see is kitty litter on hardpack. That's a recipe for the front end to go goodbye and you to end up face plant. How do we help you slay the sector here? Head up, eyes forward, think about the transition, come into the corner, looking ahead at where you're going. Don't overcook the corner. That's kind of the message all the way through the Muurhodgesgate. Set up for the corners, maintain your momentum, but don't drive too deep into the corners or you end up messed up, losing your front end. That's all we have for you for the Muurhodgesgate. Get ready for our next sector, the Mighty Mule. And before you check out here and go to the next video, be sure to think about how you might be riding this bike path section, because this is a great place to get a little rest. It's a great place to eat and drink, get something out of your pockets, right? Look at that. Oh, again, we've got other trail users here, so we got a lot of stuff going on. Nice little thumbs up. Hey, have a good ride. But this is a great time. You have about 2 minutes here. You might as well get some food. Time to get some food out of those pockets. If you have a little bar bag on the front of your bike, it's a great time, or just chug a water, because there is a water stop, a sag station, a well-stocked one going into the next sector. So it's a great time just to check in, make sure you're doing good, build a little momentum, enjoy this off pavement, because we're going to go right back into the dirt. Here we go. We'll check you out on the next video here. Thanks for watching Slay the Sector.